Forgery is the process of making, adapting, or imitating objects, statistics, or documents with the intent to deceive for the sake of altering the public perception, or to earn profit by selling the forged item. Copies, studio replicas, and reproductions are not considered forgeries, though they may later become forgeries through knowing and willful misrepresentations. Forging money or currency is more often called counterfeiting, but consumer goods may also be counterfeits if they are not manufactured or produced by the designated manufacturer or producer given on the label or flagged by the trademark symbol. When the object forged is a record or document, it is often called a false document. This usage of forgery does not derive from metalwork done at a forge, but it has a parallel history. A sense of to counterfeit is already in the Anglo-French verb forger, meaning falsify. A forgery is essentially concerned with the produced or altered object, where the prime concern of a forgery is less focused on the object itself, what it is worth or what it proves, than on a tacit statement of criticism that is revealed by the reactions the object provokes in others. Then the larger process is a hoax. In a hoax, a rumor or a genuine object planted in a concocted situation may substitute for a forged physical object. The similar crime of fraud is the crime of deceiving another, including through the use of objects obtained through forgery. Forgery is one of the techniques of fraud, including identity theft. Forgery is one of the threats addressed by security engineering. In the 16th century, imitators of Albrecht Dürer's style of printmaking improved the market for their own prints by signing them, AD, making them forgeries. In the 20th century, the art market made forgeries highly profitable. There are widespread forgeries of especially valued artists, such as drawings originally by Pablo Picasso, Paul Klee, and Henri Matisse. A special case of double forgery is the forging of Vermeer's paintings by Han van Meegeren, and in its turn the forging of Van Meegen's work by his son Jacques van Meegeren. Criminal law. England and Wales and Northern Ireland. In England and Wales and Northern Ireland, forgery is an offence under Section 1 of the Forgery and Counterfeiting Act 1981, which provides, a person is guilty of forgery if he makes a false instrument, with the intention that he or another shall use it to induce somebody to accept it as genuine, and by reason of so accepting it to do or not to do some act to his own or any other person's prejudice. Instrument is defined by Section 8, makes, and false by Section 9, and induce and prejudice by Section 10. Forgery is triable either way. A person guilty of forgery is liable, on conviction on indictment, to imprisonment for a term not exceeding 10 years, or, on summary conviction, to imprisonment for a term not exceeding 6 months, or to a fine not exceeding the statutory maximum, or to both. For offences akin to forgery, see English criminal law #forgery, personation and cheating. The common law offence of forgery is abolished for all purposes not relating to offences committed before the commencement of the Forgery and Counterfeiting Act 1981. Scotland. Forgery is not an offence under the law of Scotland, except in cases where statute provides otherwise. The Forgery of Foreign Bills Act 1803 was repealed in 2013. Republic of Ireland. In the Republic of Ireland, forgery is an offence under Section 25 of the Criminal Justice Act 2001, which provides, a person is guilty of forgery if he or she makes a false instrument with the intention that it shall be used to induce another person to accept it as genuine and, by reason of so accepting it, to do some act, or to make some omission, to the prejudice of that person or any other person. A person guilty of forgery is liable, on conviction on indictment, to imprisonment for a term not exceeding 10 years, or to a fine, or to both. Any offence a common law of forgery is abolished. The abolition of a common law offence of forgery does not affect proceedings for any such offence committed before its abolition. except as regards offences committed before the commencement of the Criminal Justice Act, 2001, and except where the context otherwise requires. Without prejudice to Section 65 of that Act, references to forgery must be construed in accordance with the provisions of that Act. Canada. Forgery is an offence under Sections 366, 367 and 368 of the Canadian Criminal Code. The offence is a hybrid offence, subject to a maximum prison sentence of, if tried summarily, 6 months, if tried on indictment, 10 years. Civil law. As to the effect, in the United Kingdom, of a forged signature on a bill of exchange, see Section 24 of the Bills of Exchange Act 1882. Documentary art. Before the invention of photography, people commonly hired painters and engravers to recreate an event or a scene. Artists had to imagine what to illustrate based on the information available to them about the subject. Some artists added elements to make the scene more exotic, while others removed elements out of modesty. In the 18th century, for example, Europeans were curious about what North America looked like and were ready to pay to see illustrations depicting this faraway place. Some of these artists produced prints depicting North America, despite many having never left Europe. In popular culture, the 1839 novel by Honoré de Balzac, Pierre Grassou, concerns an artist who lives off forgeries. The Orson Welles documentary F for Fake concerns both art and literary forgery. For the movie, Welles intercut footage of Elmire de Harry, an art forger, and Clifford Irving, who wrote an authorized autobiography of Howard Hughes that had been revealed to be a hoax. While forgery is the ostensible subject of the film, it also concerns art, film-making, storytelling and the creative process. The 1966 heist comedy film How to Steal a Million centers around Nicole Bonnet attempting to steal a fake Cellini made by her grandfather. The 1972 novel by Irving Wallace, The Word, concerns archaeological forgery, the finding and translation of a supposed lost gospel by James the Just, close relative of Jesus Christ, as part of a large project to be published as a new Bible that would inspire a Christian revival, but which is possibly a forged document. The 2002 film Catch Me If You Can, directed by Steven Spielberg, is based on the real story of Frank Abagnale, a con man who stole over $2.5 million through forgery, imposture and other frauds, which are dramatized in the film. His career in crime lasted 6 years from 1963 to 1969. The graphic art novel The Last Coiner, authored by Peter M. Kershaw, is based on the exploits of the 18th-century counterfeiters, the Crag Vale coiners, who were sentenced to execution by hanging at Tyburn.